NFT sporting fun tips are already available on OpenSea for purchase. How does incorporating NFTs improve the iGaming experience for users?
Our partnership with sporting funds is one of the more exciting partnerships that we have to date. What they've done is they have developed proprietary algorithms that identify arbitrage situations in sports betting and in effect enables them to run sports bonds with generous returns to people that invest in their bonds. Now what we're doing is we're taking 20% of the membership pool and using that as liquidity for these sports bonds to drive returns, which we then deploy via the Everyone Must Win lottery. Now we of course thought we could go further than that and give a little added benefit to our members, which is we could take the sports tips that sport funds are using to actually drive up these returns and make them available to members as NFTs that we sell. So if you buy the NFT, you get with that NFT the sporting tip, and what we cannot do is we cannot guarantee that the tip will be right, and nobody can ever truly predict the future. But what we've done as part of the tips is we do have a guarantee which says that if anyone buys a tip and it turns out to be a bad tip from us, we will of course refund them for the price of that tip. But this at least gives our members another little added interest to engage in the platform. It's not the prime reason that we've got the platform for, but the more we can give to our members, the more we're happy to do.
Fantasy sports is a huge market that doesn't have a lot of overlap with crypto. Are there plans to incorporate fantasy sports games into the platform?
Before I answer that question, I'm going to make two very brief points. The first being that I fundamentally believe that crypto users are now mainstream users and a growing set of mainstream users. The second being that fantasy sports really came out of the US, where they were not allowed or had very heavy regulation around sports betting, and therefore they created these games that were based on real players, but it wasn't really sports betting, and therefore the regulator allowed it. I really like it because I think it's an interesting and an engaging kind of game, and the only concern that I have sometimes is that it's a little bit slow because you actually have to wait for real events to happen before the outcome is determined. That being said, I love the game and I absolutely think we're going to deliver that. Obviously not as version 1, but certainly sometime next year I would like to see one of our games being fantasy sports games, allowing players to assemble teams based on real players out there and engage in really showing to other players their ability to predict the outcome of real play. And I think it'll be a great and engaging game, and we're going to fold it in amongst many of the other games that we're going to fold in. So yes, we are going to do fantasy sports games, and we cannot wait to be doing that too.
NFT4Play will be using yield optimizers and sports betting to increase lottery pool rewards. How are these optimizers and sports bets chosen? Is there any insurance against incorrect picks?
One of the key things that we want at NFT4Play is to create a rewarding experience for players, and yes, what we will be doing is using the membership pool to derive a prize pool for the Everyone Must Win lottery using optimizers and sports betting. Now, at the outset, I'm going to say we can never, ever guarantee that we can determine 100% the outcome of sports bets, and therefore there is some risk involved in this, but we manage this risk very carefully. Firstly, what we do is 80% of the pool at least will be deployed into fixed return optimizers, which removes risk substantially because we're not risking the majority of the pool. The second thing we're going to do is we've got strict rules around the actual sports betting component. The first is that we're going to build up a insurance pool alongside the membership pool, which will be the same value as 20% of the membership pool, and we will be betting out of the insurance pool before we bet out of the membership pool. That's the first thing. The second thing is the bets that we place are not based on what people feel and what hunches are. They are based on algorithms that have been developed by sporting funds, which in a non-emotional way determine arbitrage situations in the sports betting world, and the returns that they've demonstrated over the past few years have actually been reasonable and significant. But we still follow prudent guidelines there, and some examples include: we never bet more than 1% of the total principal. So if we got 20% to work with, we never bet more than 1/20th of the 20% that we have to play with, or 1% into any one match, and we never bet on more than 5% or so. That's in any one day. And that makes sure that we are keeping a strong lid on things. And by the way, those are maximums. And our view here is that what we're looking for is not hitting things out of the park and trying to find that 100 to 1 return. We all know that the maths would be stacked against us, but if we can yield a good solid return, which is very competitive with putting your crypto into some kind of optimizer out there, then we've at least done the job of giving returns via the Everyone Must Win lottery to members that might have deployed their deposit elsewhere. And that's how we manage risk, and we're a conservative bunch here. We're not out there to try and make $1 million off a dollar.